Hey guys, Drew here, and today I want to tell you about 4 ways that you can get paid just for being financially responsible. So if free money sounds good to you, then stick around for the list. So here are 4 of my favorite ways to get paid just for being financially responsible. The first, bank accounts. I'm sure everyone listening to this has a bank account. However, what I'm talking about is bank account sign-up bonuses. It's one of the easiest ways to make free money with literally less than 10 minutes of work. So if you're not familiar, banks often will put out these offers where you can open an account with them, and then if you meet certain criteria like direct deposit or minimum account balance, then they'll give you money just for having the account open. One of the best deals for checking account bonuses right now that I've found is Chase Total Checking. Right now, if you open up a Chase Total Checking account and set up direct deposit, you will get $200 in your checking account from Chase just for that. There's no minimum on the direct deposit and no minimum balance for the bonus. Obviously, the bank has to make money somehow, so it's a charged account. It costs $12 a month. However, that $12 a month is waived as long as you have $500 of direct deposit each month. So as an example, this is what I do, is I just put a portion of my paycheck in there. Even though the APY on it is very low, I put at minimum $500 per month in their direct deposit. That way, I don't have to pay the fee, but I still got the $200 bonus at the beginning of the account open. Then I just move it over to an account with a higher APY. This is a very easy thing to do, and you can do this by splitting your direct deposit in many different banks if you want. Another thing to keep in mind is if you're doing this, to make sure that you keep the account open for whatever the minimum time period is. It is usually 6 months or a year. Otherwise, they can revoke your bonus. I'll put a link for signing up for the Chase Total Checking in the description below. And when you go, you'll notice that they have an extra $150 for signing up for their savings account, making a total of $350. However, I would be wary of this because the savings account requires a $10,000 balance, and $10,000 getting only $150 is only 1.5%, and there's better options than that. Which leads me to high interest savings accounts. High interest savings accounts, what are they? Well, usually they're through online banks. This is because they're able to save money by not having a brick and mortar store, and they pass that savings along to the customer. To give you an idea, most of these will pay out between 1.5 to 2%, with the best ones being 1.7 to 2.1 with no minimum requirements, meaning no minimum deposit or use of a debit card, or tricky things that for me personally are not worth a difference of 0.2%. This is amazing. If 2% doesn't sound exciting to you, understand that we are talking about a savings account. We're not talking about a CD. We're not talking about a money market fund. We're talking about a normal savings account that you would just have your emergency fund sitting in anyway. And instead of the national average of 0.06%, we're talking about 33 times that. If you could get 33 times payout on anything, you would. So I would definitely suggest checking out one of these. There's plenty available online. The main thing to verify is that they're FDIC insured. As long as it's FDIC insured, it's going to be a safe option. A couple that I would suggest, I personally use Wealthfront because that's what had the highest percent whenever I opened it. They currently have a 1.82%. Tab Bank, that's one of the best that I've seen around, but I do not have an account with them personally. And then Ally Bank is 1.7% with no minimum requirements or deposits. It was one of the original high interest savings accounts online, and so it's definitely a very solid choice as well. And I'm going to do another video where I break down what I think are the best high interest savings accounts available right now. And while bank accounts can be very exciting, what I like even more than bank accounts are credit cards. So for my next way of making free money is credit card bonuses. And this is probably my favorite of the 4. Basically, credit card companies will offer a introductory sign-up bonus for a card where you will apply for the card, assuming you get approved based on your current credit history and score. You will receive their credit card in the mail and then have a requirement of meeting a minimum spend in a certain amount of time. Usually, the minimum spend will be in $500 or $1,000 increments, and it will be in about 1 to 3 months that you have. And then for that, you will get some amount of cash in a payout. Some of my favorite examples that are available right now at the highest rewards are, for a normal everyday credit card, is the Chase Freedom Unlimited. It gets 1.5% back on all purchases. It has no annual fee. It's an introductory card, so you shouldn't need too much of a credit history in order to get it. And it will give you $150 just for spending $500 in 3 months, which is a very easy minimum spend to make, pretty hard to mess with. That's a normal everyday spend card. Another example, though, if you want the real points, are with travel cards. Travel credit cards are cards that usually offer benefits like TSA pre-check, airport lounge access, rental car insurance, travel protection. They cater to a consumer that is going to spend more money on traveling. Because of this, they have higher minimum spends, but they also have much higher bonuses and usually come in the form of rewards. A good introductory example of this is the Chase Sapphire Preferred. The Chase Sapphire Preferred will give you 60,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points, which translates to $750 worth of travel credit, or you can just take the cash for $600 if you want, for spending $4,000 in the first 3 months. And if $4,000 sounds like a lot to spend in 3 months, one thing to keep in mind is you can get creative and figure out ways to meet this minimum spend. I'll definitely do a video on how to meet minimum spend in the future, but as an example, I often will pay my rent with it, and that's a way I can meet the $4,000 to $5,000 minimum spends in 3 months. PSA, you should not get a credit card to just make a minimum spend to then get the $500 or $750 or $150. If you weren't going to spend the money anyway, treat a credit card like a debit card. Which leads me to my fourth strategy for making free money by being financially responsible, which is credit card points. These aren't complicated. You don't have to keep track of it like you do with a credit card bonus, where you have to meet a certain minimum spend and a certain amount of time. No, this is literally like shopping with a coupon everywhere you go if you plan it out correctly. Imagine when you go and pay with a debit card or you pay with cash, you pay, if something is $1 in tax, you pay $1 in tax. But with a credit card, oftentimes you can get some of that money back, which can translate to anywhere between 2% and 5% normally, and then even higher if it's a specific targeted offer. In general, you're going to want a credit card that gets you 2% back on all purchases. Then you can worry about getting credit cards that give higher amounts for other categories, but the 2% back is what you should be getting on literally every purchase that you can use a credit card on. Because why pay 100% when you can pay 98? I'll keep the 2. And again, if these single-digit percents don't sound like a lot to you, keep this in mind. On most gas cards, a good example of this would be the Dux Unlimited card. It's one of the best and most underrated ones that doesn't get mentioned often enough. It will give you 5% back on gas. And it also does sporting goods, but in this case, 5% back on gas, which in LA, that's 20 cents back per gallon because it's $4 here. It's insane. So when you think back to when you were a kid and your parent or your grandparent will be driving all around town just to save money on gas, you don't have to worry about that. You can save money on gas, food, entertainment, and all other purchases anywhere you go just through being able to responsibly manage a credit card. Okay guys, so those are my 4 strategies for getting free money just by being financially responsible. Anything that I mentioned in the video, I'll try to make sure that I put the URLs for them in the description and make sure that's as clear as possible. If there are any questions, please feel free to put those in the comments below, and I will be making videos for each of the 4 categories, giving a little bit more of a deep explanation on different options. I just wanted to give you a few of my favorite ones and just hit the highlights beforehand to give an idea. So that way just, open your mind to it before giving a more thorough breakdown. But be looking for that in the next upcoming weeks, and I will see you guys next time.